Can't hear me. Now you can hear me. Okay. Oh, welcome to the WADcast, everybody. It is episode number 15 for your ear holes. I'm Josh, as always, joined by the hostess with the mostest, Brandon.
Well, technical difficulty to get the show started.
Yeah. Can't spell semicolon without something messed up, right?
Yeah.
Even now, I'm starting to feel like my audio is less than perfect, and it's really starting to. It's irritating me. If I'm going to be perfectly frank.
We'll work with what we got right now, so see what we can do.
Yeah.
So how's your weekend, sir?
It's been fine. I got a little something wrote, 10 pages, a little short. It's called Confession.
Okay. Yeah. I've been working.
Maybe you'll want to check it out sometime.
No, I'd be more than happy to. Like I said, I've been working, and I'll be working again tonight till tomorrow afternoon, and then tomorrow night till the next afternoon, so that has been my life this week.
God, that sounds like, I don't know. I've been, as everybody knows, I've been off work since the last day of May. And normally, a time like this, I'd be collecting unemployment and, just getting stuff done that I don't normally get paid for. So, what's so different this time? I don't know. Other than this virus that's, killing thousands of people and preventing me from collecting my unemployment for the summer.
Yeah, it's just been insane. I mean, it's like the scales have shifted in like this really weird balance. Meaning like just like absolutely retarded, out of whack kind of deal. I mean, like a few people I know just fell out of work, and then with me, my work just increased to such a insane level that it's just, I look at people that are unemployed and I'm thinking, whether or not you're collecting unemployment, and I don't mean to sound I guess like I don't want to sound like I'm void of any gratitude for having work. I am very happy to be one of the fortunate ones that is thrown overtime, but at the same time, a lot of the times when I'm thrown it, I don't want it. It's like I would like to actually be able to have just a little breathing room, whereas other people have too much breathing room that it's pretty much, I guess, suffocating, if that makes any sense. So it's one of those, I don't know, it's just from one extreme to another. I just want things to get back into like the middle, like just a healthy level where we can actually come together as a group of people, not fighting over whether or not a piece of cloth over your face is fucking dangerous, and that's my one per show. But still. Oh god, I used it too early. I'm tired.
Yeah. You could do like me, and kind of threw one into the cold read.
Well, I was actually Shaun of the Dead. Little trivia for people. Shaun of the Dead was, I forget what the rating system is over in the UK, but their rating system, with all the usage of the F word, they still managed to get, what's equivalent to a PG-13 rating in the United States.
It's like 14?
Because it wasn't, something like that. I forget what it is, but they got that by fighting it and saying, well, it's not used in a sexual matter. So I'm going to go for that too. Since it's not being used in a sexual matter, yeah, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, I got home from work after doing a double, and I was able to grab like maybe 2 hours sleep. And everyone, that's how dedicated we are to you find people that listen. I was able to get 2 hours sleep before doing this, in which case I most likely won't get back to sleep, and I'll just be going back to work until tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'll be sleeping my full, 6 hours there before I go back to work. So, it's tough, man. The good thing is thankfully with this COVID, and this comes into play for anybody that has a job where they have an abundance of downtime, or if they're just working from home and they need to multitask, if they want to write and everything else. Think of like how Kevin Smith wrote Clerks. He was working on that while he was working in a convenience store. Fortunately, with my COVID patients, I only have one now. I'm so thankful for that. Everyone else is, for the most part, either gotten better or unfortunately been sent to the hospital and have yet to return. But I have one COVID patient, plenty of downtime. In 16 hours, I'll probably work maybe 4 hours total, which gives me plenty of time to crack open the laptop and just focus on getting work done. So multitask, take advantage of any downtime I have, even if it means I can't sleep. But speaking of writing, we have an interesting show. Josh, would you like to tell everybody what we're doing tonight?
Tonight, we are going to give you a live show. And we're going to do it in front of you. Write a short film that is not necessarily a line-by-line, writing of a script per se, but we're gonna create and break down a story, all while you listen. I believe it's the first time anybody anywhere has done this, and I'm sure if I did even the smallest amount of research, I would be proven wrong. But we don't need to do that now, do we? The answer is no. No, we don't need to do that. But tonight, we are going to be creating a story. And I think we're going to nail it.
So, what the hell are we doing here?
Good point. We have to nail it. We have a rep to maintain. Why the hell did I even think of this? God. Before we get going though, I do want to tell everybody, hey, this is the WADcast, writers, actor, directors, and all places on a set in between. Whether it's movies or television, we celebrate it all. Make sure you're here every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Hawaiian, to join us with the writers, actors, and directors, plus all of the places on set in between. And a big shout out to our guest last week, Brian. It was tremendous. Jumped right into the cold read and absolutely flippin' nailed it.
He was phenomenal. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think I was, however this comes off. I mean, like working with him was excellent, and actually having him on the show was even more fantastic. And it's just all around really great dude. Lots of fun to just hang out with. So.
Sounds like you have a lady boner.
I mean, I might be fangirling a little bit.
But in the meantime, WADcastpod.com. The WADcast.com, at WADcastpod on Twitter. Give it a follow. Give it a, a visit. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, yada, yada, yada. You know what? Let's start creating some story.
Okay. So where are we going to? Where is our setting? What is our plot? Let's figure all that out.
Okay. You know what? I haven't done this yet.
So what you're saying is we're about to do a show that we're completely unprepared for. Well, these things kind of just work out the way they're supposed to, and the way they do every week.
Yeah. After 15 weeks, this is normal.
After 15 weeks, and we say it every week. You know what? It's going to start taking shape, and every week, well,
I
caution to
tell
the wind.
I tell everybody frequently it's the odd numbered episodes where it's just me and you being odd. On the even numbered episodes, we kind of tighten up and treat our guests with, admiration and respect that they deserve for working in the industry.
Yep.
But since this is an odd one, let's get weird. Okay. I want a superhero thriller.
Superhero thriller.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Well, hey, real quick, not to change the subject, but I'm going to change the subject. Remember how I mentioned, like last week or the week before, that I was really tempted to run out for the ice cream truck while it was going by while we were doing the show?
Could not forget.
I'm going to do that. So let's go ahead and do this. I'll just look like an idiot while I'm ordering my ice cream from an ice cream truck and cutting children off in line.
Well, it's par for the course.
Not really. There's no kids lined up. Okay, good.
Okay, so we're gonna put together a superhero thriller. Of course, non-licensed. This is all original characters, situations. We are not going to be putting Batman in a Fatal Attraction situation. Although that is a story that should be told at some point. It's Batman. He's been around forever. It's probably already been told in an episode.
Yeah, you just switch it up to Selena Kyle, and she becomes like really psychotically obsessed with him, and gets involved with his and Vicky Vale's relationship.
So I guess it has been told. Damn. Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right, to the point. All right, so superhero thriller.
The main character. Well, you know what? Superhero is kind of maybe it's a little played out. Let's scratch that. No superhero thriller. Fantasy comedy. There we go.
That's not done very often, so okay.
Okay, we have a fantasy comedy, and I want it. Okay, imagine this: a world where, fairies and orcs and ogres and whatnot, they're all real, but they're kind of hidden behind the scenes, kind of like a. I don't know. They're the ones that make the gears turn. A subclass, not quite like Bright, where they're out in the open, but they're treated like crap. But it's a modern day fantasy, and they're the reason why the traffic lights work and everything. Everything that people are like, how does that work? That's magic, like magnets. Yeah. Yeah, how do they work?
My God. So you have some douche like Thor showing up. Magic and science, where I come from, are one and the same. It's my Chris Hunt impersonation. Sean Connery Hemsworth. Okay, so we have little magic pixies and fairies running around operating magnets and traffic lights.
And the star, the main character, he is a slacker.
Does he not operate traffic lights on time and he causes mass car wrecks and deaths?
Yeah. Essentially like that. No, that sounds bad. This all sounds really terrible.
This is horrible. Yeah, this is absolutely horrible. I mean, I'd watch it, but it's horrible.
And then he gets the girl, and the end. See, it's not hard to write stories.
Yeah. Hollywood, throw us money. Netflix, are you listening?
Okay, okay. Let's figure out something legitimate then. Okay, it's not exactly 100% coming up on the spot, but I did have an idea a while back that I never developed about a group of actors that roam the post-apocalyptic countryside. That they roam the land, performing old episodes of Seinfeld and Friends live, because there's no internet, no TV, or anything like that. So
yeah,
they're an acting
group. Time. I'm listening to you.
They're an acting troupe that act out old episodes, and someone tells them, okay, we get a little bit of science fiction element here. How about this? Someone tells them that they could use their acting talents to infiltrate. Like,
hey, here, Josh, I'm sorry, 1 second, ice cream time, I'm sorry. Yeah, can I get the crunch bar?
I'm going to talk to you guys, the audience. What if someone said
just one.
That they could use their acting talents to infiltrate, not quite government, but, an evil facility where technology still reigns. Everybody else is in the apocalypse and whatnot, Mad Max style, and the Postman, if you recall those flicks, where everything is just so bleh and non-technological. But there are these outposts, this, like I said, not necessarily government, but they are a united, they're a united group. They pulled the technology, and one of the things that they have is a time machine. So they have the opportunity to break into a facility and use the time machine to prevent whatever causes the apocalypse in the first place. And naturally, within a group of people, you're going to have your archetypes and your tropes, but some of them, well, at first they're all going to be like, yeah, this is the way to do it, but some of them are going to be understandably hesitant, if not downright hindering of this mission, because they don't want things to change. Maybe they have a love that would, like, if the world ends. No, here's a good example. No, that's not a good example. In the Left Behind books, right? If any of you have read the Left Behind books, super Bible-y, rapture stuff. One of the main characters, he's married. She gets raptured, goes up to with Jesus, right? And the thing is, he meets somebody new. He knows that she's up there waiting for him. He knows this for 100% fact, and he like totally remarries while he's on Earth. And so, what if someone said to him, "Well, you could bring her back. You can skip the whole rapture, but you'll never fall in love with this other girl." So what if one of the characters has a kid that would never be born if they stop the apocalypse? So he's kind of the kink in the machine. He's the one that's going to try to sabotage it. It's not even an outside force working to break them apart, but he's like secretly, maybe he does have some sort of communication with the people at the facility, and they're like, "Hey, if you guys succeed, your kid dies." And he's like, or she is like, "But I don't want that to happen." So these group of actors have to break into the facility to use the time machine to prevent the apocalypse, which in general most people think is a great idea. But of course, like I said, there's the people at the facility, the people running the show don't want to give up power, as people in power don't end up liking to do so often. And then, of course, not necessarily infighting, but definitely some dissension among the ranks of the actors. So it's like a post-apocalyptic sci-fi road movie.
Okay, kind of like the religious road warrior.
Kind of. And it doesn't have to be based with, religion. It doesn't have to be the rapture or anything like that. It just, maybe a nuclear war has turned everything to crap. Maybe it's the final prophecy of the scientists that are like, "Hey, you got to do something, or the world's kind of screwed."
I'd actually be very interested in maybe, and hear me out. This is building towards the title for the film, for the story. How about a guy named God is the guy that caused the nuclear war, right? Okay, hear me out. And now he's got to, like he's like traveling, like he's got his own agenda to try to guide people through this wasteland. He inadvertently caused the apocalypse on some level. And so now he's just a member of a group of people hiding the fact that he caused this apocalypse. Okay? And now he's working with this group of people to try to survive through it. No one knows that he caused the apocalypse. Doesn't come out till, the end of the second act. I don't have an ending for it, but I'm building towards the title of it, and it's called "What If God Was One of Us?" And as they're walking through like this desert plain with old buildings that are now nothing but ancient ruins of a civilization that once was in the United States or any other part of the world. Doesn't matter. We don't have to Americanize the shit out of this. But as they're walking through this, all Book of Eli style, all you hear is, "What if God was one of us?" And that way you can be, while you're watching this, like, oh my God, that's the title of the movie. Because everyone loves that. They love seeing the title of the movie and hearing the title of the movie in the movie. Right? No?
Get off my plane. So yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I do really like the idea of having that second group that's actually responsible for everything. Kind of. Okay, what if God was a homeless guy, right? And in the post-apocalypse, he's come to power. He went from absolutely nothing to being a prominent figure in the post-apocalyptic world, because he's just doing the same thing he's been doing most of his life.
Destruction.
Doing whatever it takes to get by.
Oh, okay.
And people start following him, and learning from him. And he amasses, a large following, a group of disciples, and they have to stop the actors from breaking into the facility. So the God group is trying to stop them. The techie group is trying to stop them. It almost becomes like the Warriors at this point, where they're trying to get from point A to point B, and if we add another group or two to really get in their way, really cool, gimmicky groups, we could be really onto something here. Like a group of vegans. Yeah? Okay. Vegans are like, if you go back in time to prevent the apocalypse, that's going to bring back the farming industry and the meat industry, and meat is murder. Okay. So they're protecting the cows by stopping these actors. And the whole time the actors have to blend in wherever possible because, it's not an action movie. They're not going to fight their way out of things. They have to act their way out of things.
Okay.
What do you think so far?
Kind of like that. The whole idea of actors having to act their way out of things. That's good. I can get behind that. Kind of like Team America.
Kind of.
Multiple actors.
I was thinking more like a cross between To Be or Not to Be and The Warriors.
Okay. No. Okay.
With a little bit of Frost Nixon in there. Because there wouldn't be any knife fights or anything like that. The quote unquote fight scenes should be how the actors deliver the dialogue, kind of like Frost Nixon was more or less paced like a boxing match.
Oh yeah, and the conversation.
So it could be something like that. Quick jab. And, model it after like a martial arts fight or an action movie fight sequence. And like the big explosion will be like The Joke or something. You get what I'm saying?
I smell what you're stepping in. I got it.
So it'd be like, whoa,
Like, oh, sick burn. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
So what'd you think about the vegans? Good group, bad group? Keep it, toss it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. No offense to any vegans out there, but they get kind of preachy. It's like going to it's like being the only non-religious person in the family and going over to dinner and hearing all about, the Bible and stuff like that. And, so.
Josh, I'm glad you're here. Have you been saved yet? What?
Yeah, but it's like, with vegans, it's more or less like, and I remember, I dated a vegan before, and it's good material, especially for a comedy of sorts. Because, one of my things, and people do not judge me, okay? I have really specific tastes in what I eat. And when I eat any, kind of animal, I eat any part of it. It doesn't matter. It's like I've eaten damn near every part of an animal before. But I like beef heart. I love beef heart. I dated a vegan, and I accidentally, forgot, without telling her, that I bought beef heart, and I cleaned it, got rid of all the fat and cartilage and everything else around it, chopped it up, put it in a Ziploc bag, thinking I'm going to take it back to my house, because this, of course, bring it back to the vegan's house. And while she's sleeping, I'm cutting everything up, and I left it in the bottom drawer of her refrigerator. Nothing like a vegan finding a chopped up cow heart. I mean, So I mean, there's room for comedy with a vegan, because no, again, no offense to vegans. I'm sorry. I know you guys have your whole animals are, not food thing. I disagree. Animals are definitely food for me.
Animals are people too.
Yeah, to like old ladies in nursing homes that talk about things like, oh, he just wants to beat people. That's when they're people. In reality, animals are animals. They are our pets. They are our food. And they are our companions, depending on how much you like that pet. My dog is my companion. But if I was hungry enough and there was nothing nearby, I cannot guarantee that I would not, That got dark. Either way, so the thing is, and I say this as I'm looking at him in adoration. The thing, but no, it's like, so I think that would actually be, I think adding like the vegan standpoint in there, however you want to put it, even if it's like trying to promote their views or make sense of their views, which outside of just like a misplaced sense of morality, I don't understand what the views are. Again, nothing against vegans, I just don't understand it. But I think it'd be good. I think it's a really good idea. I would be down for it. Throw some vegan plot points in there somewhere.
Again, like you said, it's not demonizing veganism. It's
no, absolutely.
If anything, you could see this group of people as heroes because they think that by stopping people from stopping the apocalypse, they saved, all of the cows and the chickens, since, the whole meat industry is kaput, right?
Okay.
So that's one of the things that they believe the apocalypse made good. That they thought, oh, now that industry's gone. We don't have to do anything about that anymore. And then somebody's trying to stop the apocalypse. That means they're going to bring back that business. They're going to bring back the mutilation of cows and chickens and whatnot. They're going to bring it all back.
So pretty much everyone else is trying to stop the apocalypse. All right, so everyone else is trying to stop the apocalypse, and the vegans are trying to keep the apocalypse going.
Well, this one small group is trying to prevent the apocalypse, and they have to get through several groups, or maybe it is just them versus the vegans. Short film style, then yeah, it probably should just be one general adversary. But there are so many different people that might want to keep the apocalypse intact. The vegans being one, God and the other, the homeless guy that built the following because, now his status has grown as a homeless guy because he knows how to survive on minimum everything, right? So that's two groups right there, plus, of course, whoever actually is in charge of running what needs to be ran to prevent the apocalypse from happening in the first place.
Okay.
Got to remember the time travel element. They have to go back in time to prevent the apocalypse.
Okay, I gotcha. So what do we have for the... sorry, 1 second. I've closed out the...
Closed it out?
1 second. There we go. Okay, sorry. I don't know how the hell I did that. So no worries. So I had you on speaker on my phone. Okay, so where do we stand on this story so far? So we need like the beginning. How do we get into the apocalypse, or do we start off in the apocalypse?
We start off in the apocalypse, right?
Okay.
And I think the first scene should be like the actors acting out a scene from Friends. Let's introduce their occupations immediately.
Oh,
that's who they are.
Can we have the Friends theme song? Dude, no one told you life was going to be... No. I mean, it'd be fitting, just for the opening line. You know, no one told you that life was going to be this way.
Maybe it's done like a Shakespearean narrator. Nobody told you life was going to be this way.
Yeah, how about we start off with like, you know, some guy just like dressed up in Road Warrior kind of attire, and as he's saying that, someone shoots him, and then like, you know, how someone says like, you know, your job's a joke.
Your job's a joke. You're broke.
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
So, I say it's in my opinion, it should start mid-scene, and then the song should be sung afterwards.
Yeah, this is actually like an apocalypse comedy is something you don't really see that often, aside from This Is the End. But even their apocalypse, it all pretty much took place inside of a house. But you never really see like a Road Warrior kind of apocalypse, like a hard, like dark and gritty, you know, like just straight up Mad Max style, Book of
Not
Eli
without it being
style,
a spoof.
like, yeah, exactly. And you don't really see that. Like you've seen like the fantasy ones, like with Your Highness. That was a good one. You know, the Princess Bride, stuff like that. Like so there have been like comedy fantasy kind of deals. But we like I honestly I think, Justin, you know what, buddy? If you're listening to this, I say that we just jump on board and we just all write together an apocalyptic comedy in the style of The Road Warrior. And we can make this thing like big budget, like, you know, just hardcore, and we'll see if we can get Tom Hardy on board to come on as, like, you know, just, you know, hey, you already played Mad Max.
Okay, say we have Tom Hardy
now, huh?
Say we have Tom Hardy attached to this, and he's watching the actors. Even if it's not a big role, he's watching the actors, and he's like, maybe he has to lead the actors to their destination, but he's watching it, and it's over, and he has that like Mad Max snarl on his face, right? And someone's like, at some point, someone's like, "Are you going to say something?" Because of course, Mad Max was very silent when Tom Hardy was in the movie, right? And
he didn't really have that many lines, did he?
No, he was very quiet. But at this point, you just have him start like saying something insane, like, "Of course I'm gonna say something. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen." Da, 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 da. You know, just to kind of knock his Mad Max role a little bit for being so quiet.
But when he speaks, he has to have like the Bane voice. Are you going to say something? Of course I'm going to say something.
I was hoping for the one where Ross and Rachel got married.
I was born to say something. Okay, well, say something. No! You have my permission today. Oh, man.
Or perhaps he's wondering why you have a Latino man play Rachel.
That sounds more like Sean Connery. Like, we keep going, like, we keep trying to do impersonations of certain people just come up like Sean Connery somehow. Like, I'm trying to do Liam Hemsworth earlier, like, you know, like, magic and science is the same thing. And I was like, you know, that's not Chris Hemsworth. That was, like, Sean Connery from, like, Highlander.
Then maybe we should just get Sean Connery for the damn movie.
Well, he won't act. He's done acting.
I think with the right script, he could be convinced to come back.
All right. Well,
maybe he was a part of the troupe at one point and like started working with the tech people with the time machine. And when they finally reach his office, he's like, you know, they're like, "Oh, it's you. We haven't seen you in forever." And it's like,
you know how to
lose.
lose.
I've been here the whole time.
Yeah. You know, I would love this. I would love to see a movie one day with just like a gratuitous Sean Connery cameo that makes no sense. Of maybe him like just sitting in the corner. And I was like, Sean Connery, what are you doing here? What are you talking about, my boy? I was here the whole time. But it's like, how to lose Sean Connery in like a pitch meeting. Hey, Sean, it's just like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, okay?
John?
Huh?
John?
Sean.
Where'd John
Sean
go?
Connery.
Mr. Connery?
Oh. Yeah. All you see is like a dust cloud of his likeness slowly blowing away. Like, oh, he's gone.
Did he just die? No.
We can actually name this movie too. Raiders of the Found Ark. We found the Ark. Raid it. Oh God, I'm a silly bitch. Oh man. Oh, that would actually be fantastic. I need, we need to write something just, just name it Raiders of the Found Ark. Instant lawsuit from Steven Spielberg and George Lucas.
How about this? Two guys are having a debate in a bar, and about who the best James Bond is, and they're like, "Fine, let's ask him." And the bartender turns around at Sean Connery, and they're like, "Who do you think is the best James Bond?" And he's like, "Daniel Craig." No.
Well, no, I mean, he's better than Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan only had Goldeneye. That.
He's like, I'm familiar with the franchise, so I'm going to have to say Roger Moore.
Oh, my God. How about this? We just have like a movie with all the James Bond, whichever James Bond actors we can get to come back. Daniel Craig, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan.
You want to know something?
All of them. Huh.
We talk about the screenwriters group we're in, and there was that what do you call it? The post where they were like, pitch a new Bond movie, right?
I didn't see that one.
Okay, well, that was one of the posts. I almost posted an idea that I had a long time ago, and essentially it's like this. Okay, I guess at this point we're going to say Daniel Craig is going to be James Bond for this film, this Bond movie that I'm about to tell you about, and in my head I see John Travolta playing the villain. Although after everything that's happened recently, I don't know, but we can get somebody else. I wanted Nicolas Cage to play like the demented assassin, the one that actually fights Bond on several occasions, while Travolta was the mastermind. So I had that little thing going, but essentially they were oil tycoons, oil people, and they use espionage to destroy pipelines for rivals, which lets them drive up their prices. They want to control all of this. I came up with this when one of the previous times the world's economy was in the crapper. So it's weird how it's appropriate again, but England, to kind of offset some finances, has to close MI6, but rather than like shutter the doors, they sell it to a private entity, so it becomes like a paramilitary group in a way, and Travolta's people are the ones that buy it. So the opening action sequence would have been Daniel Craig trying to prevent a pipeline bombing, but not quite being able to make it. He gets in a little bit of trouble for failing his mission, and then he's told that as he's investigating everything going on, finding out who's behind what, they have to shut down because the new ownership does not want this to be a case that gets finished. So he leaves MI6, and Moneypenny kind of keeps tabs on him from a distance, and at one point, since he is a private citizen, doing an investigation on something of this scale, when he gets captured, there's nobody to call except Moneypenny finds out, and we'll do the traditional trope tied to a chair in a warehouse or something, and a door blows. A couple of guys come in wearing black, not ninja suits, but spy gear, covered up from head to toe, and they beat up the bad guys and rescue Daniel Craig. And as soon as they get clear, he's like, "Who are you? Who sent you?" And wait for it, you hear him. Moneypenny Chame pulls off the mask.
There we go.
I'm 007. What? And then you find out that the 007 moniker is just, anybody. It can go to anybody. It gets handed down, essentially. And
it's like Mjolnir.
Right.
Whoever's worthy can wield the moniker.
It turns out that there's like a network of 007s that have retired, that Moneypenny could reach out to help him, save the day. And they get the bad guy, and that's when you kind of see Daniel Craig, say, I wonder who's going to be the next 007, because he's retired at this. He's like, I'm out. I quit. But MI6 gets returned to its former glory because of the assets seized after beating the bad guys, and that's how I created a movie with all of the Bonds coming back, or whoever they could get to come back.
And I have the perfect title for it.
What's that?
007 to the 7th power, because 7 people play James Bond so far. 007 times 7, or to the 7th power, whatever. 007
I was thinking
7.
My working title was Yesterday Lives Once More.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yesterday lives once more in the golden eye. But the world is still not enough. Oh, God.
The next James Bond movie is 007. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
That's kind of like the same kind of... It's like the title... It's like the title of that really bad spoof movie of all those Seth Rogen films and whatever. The 40-year-old virgin who kissed Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it.
That's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'm not joking. It's a movie.
You lie, sir.
Look it up. Google that shit.
I'm gonna. Okay.
See, we told everyone that we would be writing a plot for a movie, and really what we've been doing is just pitching movies back and forth here. So,
actually, for the most part, we put together a pretty cool post-apocalyptic road trip movie. At least a skeleton.
Very half-assedly.
And we've also pitched a James Bond movie, so we're actually doing double duty here.
But that's what I'm saying. We are pitching. We're not really writing a damn thing. So all you freeloading scumbags that are listening to this and thinking, I'm going to write this script now, you're welcome. So, so I mean, I actually there was one. First off, I want to say this: Infectocalypse. Everybody listening, I want you to hear this. I entered. Did you see my post, Josh, about this?
I sure did.
Okay. So Infectocalypse, it's a short zombie comedy that I wrote just for fun, really. I was thinking, you know what? You see zombie comedies in like movies and everything else. There's been a few. The most prolific, of course, will always be, to me, Shaun of the Dead. But you don't really see a zombie apocalypse TV show that isn't afraid to be as ridiculous as possible, while still trying to be serious. You know, kind of like the Judd Apatow, if you will, of zombie films. So I'm thinking, like, you know what, I'm going to try to write something like this. And I wrote this half-hour script called Infectocalypse. And I wrote the title because I had a hard time saying it. Because I figured that could transition well into, like, should it ever get filmed, having an actor actually say that word. And I think I even wrote a line in there, if I remember right, where one of the characters says something along the lines of Infectocalypse. And one of the supporting characters is having a hard time saying it. But all this goes down, and I entered that and about like 4 other scripts into a screenwriting festival, and all these other scripts were, some were serious, you know, some were just comedies, some were shorts, features, whatever. Of all the scripts that actually made it through, the one that I wrote in the span of maybe, like, I want to say 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours, like a half-hour pilot episode, made it into the, I guess, the quarterfinalists for this contest, beating out of like 13,000 entries, it was in the top 1,000. Totally just unexpected. I wasn't even remotely expecting to see that. I entered this back in March, and here I am in July getting this notification. It's like, oh yeah, congratulations, this one went through. The rest of them, like, nope. Infectocalypse, like, of all the scripts, like, cool. Yay. So, I won't get into the details of the script because it's, barely protected. By barely, I mean it's very protected. I just don't feel like getting into it. But, I did have an idea based off of an old script that I'm going to actually, since we're pitching back and forth here, I'm going to pitch a serious, and while I hate the genre with a passion, a serious pitch towards a romantic comedy called Second First Dates. And in this script, and I'm pitching this because it's something that I wrote an idea out for already. But in the scripts, I never intended to do anything with this, so if someone else does something, cool, go for it. A guy and his girlfriend break up. They've been together for a couple of years and everything else, and she breaks up with him, and he decides, you know what, I'm going to win her back. How does he do it? He convinces her to go out with him to completely recreate their entire first date together. So all the places that they went to, the first date, he tries to take her back to. But they've been together for 5-6 years. Areas can change, businesses can close down, things like that, and that happened. Businesses have closed down. Gestures that he made on their first date where she was swooning over him, he was swooning over her. They, of course, have a little bit of hesitation between them this time around. So some of his attempts at being romantic fall flat. It's not exactly the same because that's just to an extent, that ship has come and gone. It sailed. Um, but then as time goes on, she starts finding out that maybe he was trying and she wasn't noticing. And so she starts kind of seeing these things in him all over again. She starts falling in love with him, but then throughout the movie, and I'm good with reversing the roles too. This was written a while ago after, the fucked up breakup. Oh, there's my 2. 3, actually. Oh, this is such an R-rated episode. So at the end, whoever the one that got dumped that decides to go back on a date, whether it's a guy or girl, I don't care. Person that got dumped starts realizing that they're now better off without that relationship, whereas the person that did the dumping realizes that maybe they were too quick to judge. So it's kind of like a double conundrum where they start thinking well, the roles have reversed and maybe she wants to, or he wants to, whatever. I don't care how they do it. Could actually just make things work. And now the dumpy's like, you know what? No, I'm good. So I guess the best way to say it is they saw all the things that brought them together. They saw all the big things that brought them together and all the little things that tore them apart. Oh, that was good. I like that one. Should have used that.
I'll write it down.
Romantic comedy. No. I'm a writer, man. I don't write shit down. I just speak until I have an idea and hope to God it, what do writers do, man? We come up with a few ideas, we throw all that shit against the wall, and we just see what sticks, basically. Whichever one has the most. But that is my pitch for a romantic comedy.
I dig it. It didn't take you 30 minutes like it took me, but very concise.
Oh, man. Hollywood, give me money. There's some Hollywood executive right now underneath, in a basement somewhere, laughing maniacally while he's writing our ideas down.
Somebody call Connery. We found a way to bring him back.
Oh, my God.
Well,
oh.
It's what we get for putting really awesome ideas out there, I guess.
Academy Award-worthy ideas. The category for the most WTF film this year goes to...
The post-apocalyptic road movie.
The hell is this? The hell is this? Illinois' James and the Raiders of the Found Ark? Oh my God. Oh. That's right, everybody. We're here every Friday night.
It's an odd-numbered episode. I'd say we definitely brought the odd tonight.
Oh God. Well, the thing is I am so incredibly sleep deprived right now. It's ridiculous. So, hence why I've slipped up using the word "fuck" a few times. And I figure, fuck it. I've already used it, so fuck it. Might as well just keep going for it.
It's a good thing there's only one explicit tag to hit. Although we might get kicked off iHeartRadio.
Oh, we never had a chance, man. After the first episode, that another ship has sailed right there, buddy. Okay, so... And Elvis Duran and the Morning Show are heartbroken.
Breaking news.
Oh, my God. Oh, and I did want to say something. You mentioned John Travolta earlier.
Yeah.
I did want to say this. A little bit more of a solemn note in the show. For any of you that have been living under a rock, Kelly Preston has unfortunately passed away at the age, I believe, 52 years old. Still she looked amazing. But 52 years old, passed away. Such a shock. I loved her. She was absolutely beautiful. She was actually known to be a very kind-hearted, very down-to-earth actress, despite how incredibly gorgeous she was. Like, you know, what you saw in Jerry Maguire, polar opposite of how she was as a person. I never met her. I'm just going off of speculation and stories and stuff like that. But evidently, she was one of the more down to earth and just all around level headed actresses that you could actually meet. So, even me not being much of a John Travolta fan, I will say that my heart definitely goes out to him and the family. It's really sad. Cancer, just, you know, once again, I've already broke the explicit label a few times. Fuck cancer, man. Like, just R.I.P. Kelly Preston, you were awesome. And yeah, it just really sucks. So,
I think the only thing left to do is wrap up the show next week. Be sure to be here at the same time as usual, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and we will have a special guest. Did Spielberg call back?
No, neither did Kevin Smith or, you know. I was going to go after, Quentin Tarantino, but, unless we do no, I'm not going to make that joke. But I was going to go after Tarantino, but that's not going to happen either.
But
no,
for sure, Sam Jackson returned our calls, right?
Well, yeah, but he, like, you think I use the F word, man? I mean, he's like, he's got an obsession with, like, having intercourse, like, calling people, calling everyone, like, people that have intercourse with mothers. I mean, he's got this huge thing about that. It's just,
We'll have some sort of announcement over the next week to find out who's going to be here next week. But for all that information and for all of the links, just go to what website?
Oh, that's right. Oh, are you going to do your recommendation of the week?
No.
You skipped it. Oh, you're not. Wow.
Oh, yes, of course. I don't know what the I don't know what the official status of this movie is, other than that it's Chinese. My recommendation of the week is Ip Man.
Ip Man?
Ip Man, yes.
Oh, is it? Oh! I've always called the movie IP Man. I didn't know what the hell that was. Okay, that's it. Okay, Ip Man.
For those that are unaware of Master Ip, essentially.
So that's his actual name. I've never seen a single one of those movies. Ip is his name?
Yeah.
Okay. I always thought it was like IP address or something. Okay. Wow.
I did too until I watched them. And my friend and battle buddy Ben, who you can catch with me on the Backstage Slam every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Hawaiian. Although I'm not sure he's going to be here this weekend because he's about to get hit by a hurricane in Hawaii. And long story short, there are 4 Ip Man movies and at least one spin-off movie. In the last 2 days, I've watched the first 3 and the spin-off. But essentially, I'm recommending the first one. It's about Ip Man. It's about Ip Man. He's a kung fu master in China, pre-World War II, and he's got some renown. He's got some esteem, and the kung fu and the martial arts. It's more about the exhibition, the spectacle, rather than hurting people. Getting in there as close as you can to let them know that I could have hurt you without actually doing it. It's a respect thing.
Oh, okay.
And whenever Ip Man, he wins an exhibition, he's, shows humility. He's like, thank you for taking it easy on me. That kind of thing. So he's an all-around awesome dude. But then World War II hits, and the Japanese occupy China. Yeah, it's you're going to get the typical Japanese are bad guys in this. It's basically, if anybody tells the story of World War II, yeah, from from someone that was at war with Japan, they're definitely going to be the villains in the movie. And they ask him to train the Japanese soldiers. He refuses, and well, watch it. It's what I recommend. I definitely recommend watching subtitles, because if you continue to watch it, make sure you switch over to subtitles, because I think from the second one, when I started watching the second one, it started out dubbed, so I could not handle that, man. I could not do it, because the voice went from, this is the tone it was, but I don't speak Cantonese, so I can't really mimic that. But Ip Man's tone was like, "Oh, honey, you're pregnant. Let me carry those," right? Okay. It's just a regular tone, but the English dub was like, "Oh, honey, you're pregnant. Let me carry those." It's like, that was bad. That was so bad, listening to the dub version. So definitely do subtitles. At least that way you can hear the proper, tone of the voice of the Chinese actors, rather than some English speaker just reading lines off a script to the film in front of them. It's not good. But definitely watch it, man. If you're into martial arts. Oh, one of the things is like, why make a movie about this guy? Because he's a real guy. He's a guy that existed. And even though he did so much in China, right? And became so well known, so famous, in the States he'll probably be known more as the guy that trained Bruce Lee.
Okay.
So yeah, it's highly fictionalized account of his life, but it's still pretty cool. A lot of really cool fight choreography. There's no in any of the movies. There's no point A to B revenge story that's in it. It's pretty much, this is life, and sometimes you have to fight in life, kind of deal. Mike Tyson's in the third one. So if you don't watch that, that's definitely interesting, especially hearing Chinese come out of his mouth.
Now, does he speak Chinese, or is it just dubbed over in Chinese?
Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty sure it's dubbed, but there are times when I know it's not because of the lisp.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, so he uses a lisp when he's speaking Chinese too.
Yep.
So it's an international lisp.
Very much so.
Awesome. I mean, so it's worth watching just for watching. Not the first one, but the latter installments are worth watching just for the sake of listening to, a great boxing champion speaking Chinese with a lisp.
Right. And what's weird is the second one is the one where the British boxer comes to town. Well, it comes to Hong Kong.
Oh, gotcha.
And he's like, Western boxing is better than Chinese kung fu. And, of course, the local masters take offense to this. And all I'll say is, there's a whole lot of Rocky IV going on in that one.
Gotcha, okay. Well, there you go, everyone. Ip Man, check it out. Josh's recommendation of the week. And
you can find it on Netflix, really easy.
Yeah, Netflix, Amazon Prime, I believe. It's actually in a few places, but so go check it out. I would like to say I will this weekend, but I will be spending my weekend focusing on writing and working and sleeping. Occasionally,
I think I'll be writing
sleeping.
a post-apocalyptic road movie.
I think that's actually hysterical. I say go for it. But so for all of you listening, anyone that's like tuning in for the first time, you can check out our Facebook page, just the WADcast on Facebook. You'll see our on our profile picture. You'll see our black picture with the white banner going across with WADcast written inside of it. You can follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/the WADcast. I'm very bad at updating my social media on the Instagram, so I've got to get to it. And you can find me on Instagram at bjacksman82. So, Josh, what about you, sir?
Well, if you want to follow me on social media, you could always hit me up at SkidComic on Twitter, or at Simicore Studios on Twitter, or at WADcastPod on Twitter. If you want to hear more about the fabulous studio that is Simicore Studios, go to simicorestudios.com. If you want to just go straight to the source of the shows, maybe join in the chat, simicorepods.com. You could always go to BackstageSlam.com to find out about the Backstage Slam Wrestling Podcast every Saturday night here, right here, on simicorepods.com and Simicore Studios Network. Wrestling, it's a wrestling podcast. If you want to find out what's coming on Netflix each and every week, you can go to Simicore Pods to listen to the Netflix, where we talk about all of the stuff that's coming to Netflix instant streaming in the U.S., Canada, over the next 6-ish days. There's going to be a big, my voice cracked a little bit, but the big early month drop is going to be talked about on the next episode, so make sure you check that out. Film Freaks, that's a show I do where we watch a movie and talk about a movie, and that is, I'm not sure when the next episode is of that it's going to be, but follow one of the Twitter accounts to make sure you get all the information there. And also Cinema de Fromage, the show where we watch a cheesy movie, talk about a cheesy movie, and then at the end of the season, guess what? We put the two cheesiest movies head to head to see who reigns supreme. So, yeah, it's definitely worth a listen to when it comes back. But once again, pay attention to all of the social media sites. Go to Facebook, like Simicore Studios, like the WADcast, so you can keep up to date about when we do what we do, where we do it, and why. If you are a person that's not listening live, you know what? Rate, review, subscribe. Don't matter what podcatcher you use, to what service you listen to us on. Make sure that you are definitely letting the world know what you think about Simicore Studios and the WADcast, because we want to come to you each and every week with brand new guests on a bi-weekly basis, and more oddities than ever before. And you can do that just by letting the world know what you think about us. And you know what? The higher profile we are, maybe people will start coming to us to be on the show. That would be nice.
Maybe someday we don't have to hunt down a special guest. Be like, oh, they came to us of their own accord. Look who we got, totally unsolicited. Oh man,
a fella can dream.
Yeah, well, real quick to close, to just like top off that point before we completely close down the show. Every one of our guests so far that's been on, thank you, every single one of you guys. You guys have discussed different aspects of the film industry, and I greatly appreciate your time. So that's and so any future guests, you're welcome to come on board. It can be any aspect of it, post-production, music, or anything like that. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'd be more than happy to having one on to discuss what they do and what the process is and stuff like that. So that's all I'm going to say. Now I'm going to let you close out. So play us out, Johnny.
All right. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we like to let you know each and every week that we appreciate you. And want to remind you that the only thing standing between you and following your dreams is you. So it's time to get off the couch. It's time to pick up a phone, if that's what you have. Shoot something. With a camera. Let me be very clear. Film something. Write something. Create something, if that's what you want to do. Because the only thing standing in your way is you. I believe in you. You can do it.